It's on 4%. Yo, what's going on, bass players? It's your boy Ray J. Coming at you another Basement Boy Productions from my home. I'm a little rough. Look like I'm going through a hard season. But anyway, I'm gonna just do a bass talk on my bass story. Just talk about how I came about playing the bass and all that. Had a few people ask me, so I just thought I'd share. Everyone should share your story. And I encourage you to share your own story. I'm gonna just plug this up really quick. Dang. So, but y'all good though? It's been a while. I'm gonna get some lessons out to y'all. You know what I mean? It's kind of long overdue. There we go. So I'm gonna go to dog. I am English. I forget our sins. Continue to cleanse us from all of our unrighteousness. Everything that's in us that's not like you, we ask you to take it out right now. Father, just want to thank you for life, health, and strength, Billy Rowland. Heavenly Father, as I speak, I ask you that you help me to speak with clarity, help me to speak where the viewers can understand with clarity, Heavenly Father, and allow my story to encourage or help anyone, Father. In all things, you'll get all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise for in Yeshua's name. We pray, amen. So, my bass story is nothing grand, I'm not on any grand, I was about to say Grammy albums, never really played for anybody, big or spectacular, but that's okay. Everyone is not going to play, in front of hundreds of thousands of people, which is okay. You just want to find your lane on what you do best and do it to the best of your abilities so that you could be a light for other people. So let's talk about my bass story. I started playing the bass officially, as in the date that I decided I'm going to take this seriously. I started playing the bass, I want to say the summer of 2008. But before I played the bass, just to give you some background, I started playing the guitar, I want to say September 2005. And before then, I was a drummer, from the age of 3. Now I could keep it beat, and every now and then you catch me on a good song, I could chop it up, but, I wouldn't call myself a fantastic drummer like these dudes today. Two of their chops is more chops than I would have ever done. But you want that anointed drop, I could do that. So I started playing the drums first, and then I transitioned to guitar. I taught myself that. I really didn't have. I did. His name is Wendell Floyd. He was like my uncle. He's the only one who really gave me some guitar lessons. I did come over his house, or I would come over his house, and he would give me stuff to work on. But what drew me into the bass was my uncle Andre Alexander. And if you don't know him, you can stop what you're doing. Go on YouTube. Well, you're already on YouTube if you're watching this. You can search for Zach Williams One Accord. I forget the CD name, but it's that first CD. It came out like 2004. He's the bass player for all of them, and I'll put a link in the video so that y'all can check him out. My uncle is no joke. He's the one who I credit as my biggest inspiration for picking up the bass. First time I grew up hearing him, but when I turned about like 15, 16, about maybe 2002-ish, I came to his church, well, his mom's church, my aunt, and I heard him just killing it. And at this time, I wasn't, again, this is like 2002, 2003. I really was just loving the bass, even though I was playing the drums. I was a drummer then, but I was just loving the bass, and he's my biggest inspiration. Because I know if I didn't hear him, most likely I wouldn't have picked up the bass. So you get all the credit for, starting my bass journey. So like I said, started on the drums, moved to the guitar, and then I transitioned to the bass. And because I already played the guitar, I knew the notes, I knew like the chords and certain progressions. So the transition was rather quickly done because like I said, I already knew my notes. The only difference I had to really start to learn is the actual bass line. Because with a guitar, you could just play anywhere. If you're not playing like rhythm guitar, if you play lead, you could just freestyle. So the only thing I really had to pick up was, I actually gotta play the bass line. I gotta stick to something particular. And that wasn't really hard. And so my first bass teacher, I caught lessons here and there from my uncle because he was a pastor. He lived like almost 2 hours from me, so I never got that face to face lessons. But whenever he would play, I would just be watching him. So that's how, I learned from him. But the biggest teachers of me start playing the bass was my aunt and my boy. They were pianists. They played the keys at my church. So they would just tell me the notes, like for any song, like if it's How Great Is Our God, or, we sing praises, or, glory and honor. They would tell me the notes, not a bass player, but the keyboardist would tell me the notes. And that's how most of the songs I know and most of the songs that I can hear now, a big credit goes to being able being able to remember what they taught me, just remembering progression. So Dan and Justin, they were my first teachers. They played the keys at our church. So they would tell me, and what kind of helped me even more is because I already knew the keys. Like I won't call I'm not a piano player. I dabbled, or I still dabble. I dabbled in it enough to know all the notes on the keyboard. So if they were playing like the bass line, I would just follow their bass line hand, and that's how I would learn songs. And I would just pick it up, and because I knew the notes, most of the time I didn't struggle. It would be sometimes if we were playing like a fast moving song, let's see, like High and Lifted Up or something like that, and that pinky or the index finger would be moving. That's how that probably like, but that didn't happen a lot. So that was, my intro lessons to gospel music, playing gospel songs and everything. Just following the keyboardist's hand. And it got kind of tricky, but it got kind of fun when they would transpose. Because what that required me to do now is to really make sure I know my scales. So even if they don't call the numbers, by them being transposed, let's say if the song was in B flat, but they were transposed to C sharp. So if the song is in B flat, my root note would be the B flat, but their root note on the keyboard would appear to be C sharp. So that means I had to know the major scale. I had to know like every note as it relates to a major scale. So if they went from C sharp to F, I had to know that that's from going from the 1 to the 3. So I would go from B flat to D. Even though I'm hitting D, they were hitting F. Had to know that, and it became tricky because you could get lost sometimes, but also became fun because it was an exercise. So all transposing ain't bad if it's geared to help you or if you can make the most of it and everything. That's what I did a lot, and I kind of enjoyed it because it was like a challenge. Like yeah, he was transposing, but I was still able to follow along his hand because I know my notes, so that was something I could have been glad about. So if anyone is experiencing that, just take it as a fun challenge. Make sure you know your major scale because most songs you're going to use the major scale, even if it starts on the 6. Like a minor song, like For Every Mountain, that sounds like a minor song, but it's still played in the major. It's just reverse, if that makes any sense. Like a song that's from like 6, 5, 4, it would have that minor feel, but it's still relative to a major progression. So back to the story. So for a couple of years, that's how I began to learn, and just by them showing me, like literally, I would go over my cousin's house. I would say, "All right, I need to learn this song," and she'd be like, "Well, Ray, I don't really play the bass." Or I said, "That's okay. Just give me the notes that you would play on this song." And the stuff was simple, but through the simplicity, I was able to understand it and I was able to get it. So now, or after that, if someone uh, were to do something else, if they were to do something else, I will already understand the basics. So I would have been able to keep up. So, and I really give a credit to that because it's the simple stuff, and it's just I was just adding on to it. So that carried. I want to say that carried me of just following them before I really started to learn songs on my own from ear. I want to say that carried me maybe a year or two, because at that point I was playing. Well, I still play every week. I was practicing every day. I was listening to music every day. So it would just be like I would just hear a song like, okay, it's certain songs I want to learn, certain songs that we do. So literally, and another reason why when people ask me, Ray, can you do this song? Or I'm having trouble, I always say, did you put the work in? What part do you need help on? Did you listen to my ear training vids? Because literally, listen to me. The Todd Tribbett Everything song, I remember this was around maybe 2006 before I really started playing bass. I stayed up all night. I stayed up about 8 hours to learn two chords. Now you can call me dumb or whatever, but when you don't know, you don't know. And when you're learning something, sometimes we overthink things. Oh, it's more than this. It's literally two. The bass line is two notes. And a guitar part, me and my boy Brian stayed up all night trying to figure it out. We still didn't figure it out. And even when I started seriously on the bass, it would take me a long time just to learn it on my own. Like, how great is our God? And what I did, I would literally just go up the scale just to find the note, each note. So that song is 1 6 4 5. I would literally keep searching till I heard the one. I would remember it. Do the same thing till I found the six, the four, and the five. And once I did that, that's when I was also learning numbers. In numbers, just refers to um, a note of a note of the major scale. So the one is the first note, the five is the fifth note, so forth and so on. So I said, okay, so this progression in any key is going to be 1 6 4 5. That I started to learn like that, and like I said, I put the work in because I really wanted to learn song. I wasn't focused on doing a lot of fills and just killing the bass. I want to learn the song because if you can learn the song, message. If you can learn the song, you can keep a job. Seriously, when you think about like Christian CCM music, even rock music or non-church music, they play the simplest bass lines, whole notes all the time, little fillings. They keep jobs. So if you can play a song, just a song, just give me the meat. I don't need the seasoning. I don't need the seasoning. Okay? I don't need the lime or the cayenne pepper. Just give me the meat and we're gonna be all right. If you could just play a song, you're gonna be all right. And that's how my mindset was. So I just make sure I got this song. And if the keyboard player wanted me to do something or he would do something, I would try to hear and mimic what he was doing. So, and I kept doing that. And the more you practice, and by this time, my teachers really went from the key players to YouTube. Like I spent countless hours, Googling people and YouTubing people And one of my favorite basses, especially when I first started, aside from my uncle, who's like my biggest inspiration, was Morgan Turner. There's a video from James Ross. I think it came out like 2007 is what Morgan had the cap on, and he had his Roscoe bass. He was standing playing, and he did the first Give Thanks. I watched that video literally at times like 20 times straight just because I was, just trying to hear just what he was doing, even though I couldn't duplicate that or repeat it, and I still can't, most likely, because he just amazing. I would just be, I just became a student, and that's my second message. Become, if you really want to be good in something, no matter what it is, you got to become a student of it. It's like you got to dedicate yourself and put the work in, just studying, going behind the scenes of stuff, whether it's for your job, sports, even living right. You got to put the work in. But for the bass, I wasn't just focused with, the playing aspect. Give me a nice lick so I could be good. I've always been a deep man, and I'm kind of deep to a fault in certain areas, my wife would tell you, or even now. Even in my playing, I'm kind of deep to a fault because I was big on theory. Okay, well, give me the theory behind this. And I will always look for that and try to, because that's what I can understand. Okay, give me the theory behind this. Oh, this lick is more based off a diminished scale. Because I could relate that. I could take that knowledge, put it in my head, diagram it, and say, okay, well, I could do this, something similar right here in this song. And that's how I've always been. So that's why I would spend countless hours just, watching videos, not so much of licks, but people breaking down the licks and what's the theory behind it. And that's another key thing. Understand what you're doing, not just do something. Don't do a lick, but give the understanding so that you could apply it in just about any type of song. Or even better, you can teach it to someone else and not just say, I just pick up and play. Because I've been told that by a lot of professional bassists. They can't teach you anything, they just pick up and play. I'm like, yo, so what was your idea when you did this lick, this fill? They're like, man, I don't know, I just pick up and play, and they be killing. But to really have an impact or in the overall effective impact, you want to be able to do something and show others how to do it, because that's how we all grow. But no fault to them at all. But that's just how I am. That's what I do. The lessons and everything. So sorry about that. So I went from keyboard players teaching me to YouTube teaching me, and that's for real, for real. When we talk now, how most of my licks, most of my licks now, I steal from my little cousin who be killing on the keys. Like a lot of keyboardist licks, I fell in love with like the way they do it, But I still a lot of keyboardist licks I watch on YouTube. Like take advantage of YouTube while it's free, or even if it isn't free, take advantage of it. There's so much knowledge out here, man. It's like there's really no excuse for anyone who doesn't want to stay stuck to be stuck. If you don't want to be stuck in a rut, you have YouTube, especially talking about bass playing. You have YouTube that you could find out anything. You could really find out anything on YouTube. You type in YouTube, how do I get to heaven? You may get 10 different answers, but you got an answer. So even with the bass playing, man, whatever you want to learn, you can learn. So take advantage. Just research. Just type it in. Don't base and put your growth in the hands of like one specific teacher. Like if hey Ray, can you help me with this song? If I don't get back to you, go to someone else. Google the song, YouTube the song, see if someone else is playing it, because there's so much knowledge out here that you really don't want to miss it, and you don't want to be the cause of yourself not growing. So, and that's where I'm currently at. Just teaching wise, I still to this day I still be watching a lot, but and over the years you'll experience where you know I want to say the bases that you grew up hearing. Once you see that there's hundreds more, you start to find yourself liking other people's styles or being able to relate to their type of playing better. Like when I first started, my biggest, favorite bases, like I said, were Morgan Turner, my Uncle Andre, and they still are my favorite. They're still among the ones I look up to and I credit, But like now, because I have gained so much more knowledge of just bass players and I'm able to identify what type of styles are out there and what type of sounds are out there, you gain a new perspective on how do you want to tell your sound, because when it's all said and done, everyone is influenced by someone else. If you ask Morgan Turner with that interview, he said, so why you choose SWR? He said, blame it on Tony Russell. Because ever since I heard him on the John P. Key, I forget the albums with Sweeter and I'm Living This Life just to that joint. He'll Welcome Me album. He said, ever since I heard Tony Russell playing it, and I was like, that's the sound I want. So everyone is influenced by someone. So all this talk, you find your own sound. Your own sound is basically a bunch of people's sounds in one. If you ask any major bass player, who influenced you? By them naming people, that means I grab a little sound, their sound to my own. And that's all it is. And that's all right. So I know like now the people I gravitate to the most or I really, study and listen to is Derek Bennett. He's my master teacher. So if you don't know him, it's just Google Derek Bennett bass lessons. He has his YouTube channel, and his channel is way better than mine. He goes in depth in a lot of areas that I haven't touched yet, or I touch, but he gives the breakdown. He has the website going, and it's all you get all access to tabs and notation to his full lessons for $10 a month. I'm subscribed. And God's been, good to me. The people has been good to me where I get a couple hundred views or whatever to be able to help a couple people, but he's the master teacher. So if you could his YouTube lessons are free and they're helpful and valuable. And I even will watch some of his videos and say, oh, okay. So he said that like a A minor 13 with the flat 9 or the flat 7. So I hear that. Now I got a groove on that. Let me show the people. He's one of my biggest inspiration and he can flat out play. It's him. Another is of course Jaco. Like he's probably the best what people would hail as the greatest bass player ever. Just because of the work that he put in. And Jaco Pastorius has influenced just about every bass player you can imagine currently. Everyone has some type of Jaco feel. So if you don't know who he is, it's okay. Just Google Jaco Pastorius and listen to the man play. He's a legend. He's not the father of electric bass, but he's like the owner, the CEO, because the man was the real deal. He influenced a lot of people from the way he sounded, his feel, harmonics, all of it. And I listened a lot to him too. And so you got Jaco, you got Derek Bennett, Justin Raines, another killer that I listen a lot to. And I'm trying to think, who else do I really? Oh, I'm tripping. Mono Neon. If I had to choose three, it would be Derek Bennett, that I say, okay, I just need three people to listen to, unlimited, unlimited for the rest of my life. You're going to choose three. I'm choosing Jocko, I'm choosing Derek Bennett, and I'm choosing Mono Neon. Because at first, when I heard Mono Neon, I was like, yo, what is he doing? Thinking I knew something. But as you progress, it's like Mono Neon is at the finish line. You're at the start line looking at him like, what is he doing? Because your mind is really not there. It's like he's in calculus. You're doing what, like college, CP math in ninth grade. He's in 12th grade doing advanced calculus. So when you look at it, you're like, what is this? Not knowing he's light years ahead of you. And when I started to understand, what he was doing, I was like, yo, this Joker is wild. Because the way he puts stuff, man, is amazing. It's to the point I don't even see like his funny stuff. That's him. That And I love it because he's him. He's not gonna let anyone change for anyone. You learn to get used to it and to like it. But his playing, my gosh, him, Derek Bennett, and Jocko. I would say those are my biggest current inspirations. The ones who influenced me in my playing as it is now the most. Those three, because they're kill and there's many more killers that I take stuff from. Like I take a couple licks from like Justin Reigns. It's like it's so many good people out here, man. So okay, so the main people I played for, the biggest people I played for, I played the guitar for Marette Brown Clark. She was my favorite gospel artist. This was in 2010. It was at College Fest in Wilmington, and she was like the guest artist. So she just let the house band. She had a track, then the track went off, and we played like "It's Not Over Till God Says It Over" on the One God, One Praise joint. So we played that, and I got a couple strums in, so it wasn't like she requested my presence or anything. But I'm gonna claim it. If I did one strum before the direct box went off, you heard that chord, right? I played for Marette Brown Clark, and I played a little bit for Karen Clark Sheard because I played for a service that she preached at, and before she preached, she sang a song. So I said, "Yo, I gotta hit a note before it's." Even though it was just an organist a cappella, like organist singer duo, I made sure I hit like one note before he did this. Like, yeah, I'm claiming that. Yeah, I played for her. It wasn't much, but yeah, I paid for her, and I played for some DC artists. His name was Gerald Scott. Yeah, Gerald Scott and Whitney Jackson. You're all I want. You're all I need. Is on a music choice on Verizon. So those are the main. But and like I said, didn't play for the big artists. Didn't go on any tours, and I'm fine with that because I was never really. I was really never really a tour guy. I'm like, yo, just give me a consistent situation where I could play. I know the money is going to be there. I don't have to, oh, brother, pray for us as we enter into our financial situation. So, and that's where I'm at now. Just do my services, boom, and I go. And I'm fine with that because I got a family now. And that's all I want and all I need. So, like I said, my story is incomplete because I'm still living and I'm still adding to it. And I love to give back. And I love to help as many people as I can. And now like I said before, I currently steal a lot of licks from my cousin, Sam Alexander, because he be flying on the keys. And that's another way I like to kind of divvy my sound. Like I like to listen to keyboardist licks, whether if it's classical pianists like Oscar Robertson, Art Tatum, they had licks. Even those classical music, Earl Gardner, their licks is crazy, man. So, and that's, just broaden your mind. And again, it's only if you want to be the best person on the bass you can, the best bass player you can. Just broaden your mind. It's a lot of knowledge out there. Just just search, just research, or just watch. And that's all. You don't gotta get too deep or too technical. Like I said, that's to my fault sometimes. Just listen and just hear, how different people play different songs. So it can give you an idea of what you may want to do. It's no problem, grabbing a certain sound or a certain lick from people. Take it. It's out there. Everybody has has taken something from somebody. Everybody sounds like someone. Everybody has their certain niche that they or their certain lick that they love to do. There's no problem with that. Like even with like Mono Neon, he has a certain. He loves to do diminish a circle of fourths, type of licks or fill-ins. We'll do a lesson on that, and it's him. Like when you listen to people, you start, okay, I see when he gets to the four, he likes to do the circle of fourths on a four, meaning you do the four, then you do the flat seven, the flat three, your flat seven, flat three, flat six, uh, so forth and so on. Or when Derek Bennett plays, he likes to end his licks not on the one, but on the flat seven, because it sounds differently. Or Jocko, he likes to ghost notes, walking it up 5 6 7 1 with a harmonic, tritone. Like when you listen to certain your favorites, you will start to understand, their mindset, and their mindset would now become yours. So never despise that. Never give, I need my own sound. No, bro, like we all are influenced by someone. It's just you taking what you like out that store and putting it into your own store, but your store still came from someone else. So hopefully I answered all your questions. I'll talk about, who influenced me, who influences me now, how I get started. Yeah. Yeah, so if I left anything out, it's 32 minutes. That was a fast 32 minutes. Just let me know. And like I said, I'll be sure to get back to you. And just remember, put the work in, man. Just look, research, and just grab all the information you can and use it to your advantage. And don't stop if you don't get the answer you're looking for. Go past that. If I can't help you, go find someone else. There's always someone else, for real. All right, so this your boy Ray J, over and out.